I'm going to share with you what I feel is the single most important variable to any good black and white photograph. But before I do, have you ever heard the phrase, if it doesn't look good in color, change it to black and white? That is the worst advice you could ever receive. And I don't want to throw a rock at a glass house, so I'll just throw a brick at it instead. If any photo educator or YouTube influencer has ever said those words about their work or your work, I would really strongly consider any advice they give you on black and white conversions, because I really don't think they truly understand the effect that good color has on a good black and white image. And if you have heard that from someone, you can go ahead and send them to this video. So what I have for you here is a quick demonstration that I'm going to show you on just how important color is to creating a good black and white image. What you're going to see here is a grid pattern of red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, and yellow. What if I told you that all of these colors had the same saturation value? And what if I told you that all of these colors not only have the same saturation value, but their tonal value when it comes to saturation is the same as the letters that spell out their name? Would you believe me? Probably not, because you can see individual colors of red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, and yellow. But check this out. If we take an HSL adjustment layer, which is not my favorite way to convert to black and white, and we drop the saturation out, look at these colors. These colors actually turn into a solid gray that's all the exact same gray. That's because all of them have the same saturation value. So when we drop the saturation out of there, they turn to this same tonal value. Now, I did tell you that these colors have the same tonal value as the letters that's inside of them. Watch what happens when I take the stroke path off of the color yellow, color magenta, the letters disappear. They don't actually disappear. They're just the same saturation value, which is that middle gray that you're seeing there. Color is extremely important to making your black and white images because it's going to inform the tones that you're going to receive in your process, specifically based on the type of conversion that you choose. Now, I typically do not use the HSL adjustment layer as my black and white conversion of choice. You might have seen me use something like the gradient map before. And I will typically use a black to white gradient map, just like you see here, that will map out the tones of those colors based on not just their saturation value, but what their tonal value would be if that color would to turn into a tone. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but if we do this, I'm going to take this HSL adjustment layer underneath here, and I'm going to select the color blue. Now I'm going to make the color blue more saturated. I'm actually going to make it a little bit darker as well, so that that color blue starts to get and become a more saturated and darker version of itself. Watch how that has an informed decision over what happens with the blue values in the image that we're looking at here. This will all come full circle when I show you another image coming up here. But I'm going to go ahead and let's say we'll grab the red. Okay, so now we're in the reds. I'm going to increase the saturation of the color red and maybe drop the lightness of that color red. And here we can even shift that hue if we wanted to as well. You'll see how as we modify that color of red underneath this gradient map with the HSL adjustment layer, we are informing a different tonal value to occur for that color. By the nature of that phrase, this doesn't look very good in color. Does it look any better in black and white? Not necessarily. So with this image, we have basically come in from Adobe Camera Raw, and the image has not really been prepped yet. Now, this is the final image that I've created from this that has a lot of color, has a lot of life, and even has some stronger tonal values. But what I want you to see here is how the colors that are in this image are informing what happens with the black and white process on both the original straight from Adobe Camera Raw and the image that is coming that I've actually edited to completion. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on first, the reduced saturation method. Now that reduced saturation method, as I showed you before, is just drop the saturation down. But the reason why I did that is I want you to see here, specifically in this area of the image, that these trees all tend to have the same kind of tonal value to them. And if we look at their reflection in the water, they have almost the same tonal value of the water itself, so they kind of blend in. Now, what we've created here is an image that has some separation between the colors. If we look at the individual colors here, you can see that this is a clear and distinct yellow-orange. This is a brighter green, and this is a darker green in the background. The before image, all those colors just kind of blend together. So I've essentially created color separation here for myself because in the color version of this, I wanted color separation between all those gorgeous trees. But the byproduct of that is after I've done my processing, the black and white version of this looks awesome because we have depth. We have tonal separation. We are creating depth between this tree and the trees in the background, whereas here, they just kind of muddily blur together. And they even don't seem to have much of a reflection in the foreground area. Now, this is why it is absolutely critical, in my personal opinion, that colors are processed first before you do anything with your black and white conversions. As you've seen here, does color matter? Absolutely. Absolutely color matters. I'll show you one more example of this. This is an image I took a very long time ago in the King Tut exhibit here in Kansas City. It's probably 2014-ish. Now, this is the original image right out of camera. This is after I've done some very strong processing with those colors to create separation between the blues and the yellows and the blues and the cyans and the reds and the yellows, okay? Now, here is the image that's pretty much straight out of camera. So if we were to put the gradient map on top of this, look at how it all appears very muddy. Now it's appearing very muddy because there's obviously some tonal stuff that's been done with this image as well in that process, but look at how the colors inform the black and white image that we're receiving in the end with this gradient map. Now, if we use the reduced saturation method, look at how these colors kind of just blend together, right? Now, this is the one straight out of camera. We have a muddiness that's happening here as we reduce the saturation out of those colors completely to get their tonal quality. Here, we even have a much better black and white image, but the important part here is to ensure that you're using the right black and white method that will inform those colors to change to the tonal values that they require. That's why I don't really believe in that reduced saturation method of making a black and white image and a more on the gradient map as it maps out the tonal quality of the colors. So dark blue is going to get a higher tonal quality than something like the color yellow. Color absolutely matters and is the most important variable when it comes to making your black and white conversions. I don't want you to think that, oh, this image isn't really that great. Maybe let's see what happens if I change it to black and white. Crap in, crap out. You change it to black and white, guess what? It's not going to make it any better. You can't polish that turd, okay? You got to make sure that those colors look really awesome before going into that black and white conversion. If you want more impacting black and white images, you have to inform those colors to be more impactful when they get turned into tones. If you don't know how to work with color, I've got an entire playlist right here that will teach you how you can work better with the colors in your images. If you like this tutorial, please consider subscribing. I do things like this all the time where I try to take very difficult things to understand in Photoshop and make them very simple and actionable for you to start using today.